Is he getting money now at 7 o'clock?
Yeah, apparently this wasn't plugged in. I was too worried about the
It's
computer.
alright, we still got 30 seconds.
Hey, we're good. Don't you worry. All right, ready when you are.
All right.
Do that again in the meeting.
Ready? All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our village board meeting for October 11th, 2018. We'd like to stand and do the pledge. Al, will you lead us, sir?
Absolutely, my pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So now we will open up the public comment section. If anyone would like to come up and speak to the board, feel free at this time. Nobody? Okay. So we'll close that portion and move into village board business. So we'd like to get a resolution to approve the minutes. As everyone looks through the minutes, we're gonna do the meeting minutes, board meeting and workshop minutes. Did anyone have any questions on any of it?
No.
Okay.
We'll say that Jake did those minutes excellent.
Fine job.
Mr. Swingley?
Good job, Dave. I appreciate it. Actually, they're the best minutes I've seen in a while.
Me too.
Whoa, here we go again.
I can't win ever.
All right, so if no one has any question on either the village board meeting minutes or the village board workshop minutes, I'll ask for a motion to approve these.
Make that motion.
I'll second.
Perfect.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
So, we're gonna ask for a resolution to approve the claims and warrants. I know Jude and I reviewed bills this evening.
Yes.
I had kind of questions, but Heather was able to answer them.
Yeah, fine.
Al, do you have any questions regarding anything?
No?
Nothing? Okay. Don?
I haven't even looked at them, so.
All right. All right, I will ask for a motion to approve the claims and warrants.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Ippolito?
Aye.
Motion passes. I know.
Budget modifications. You gonna review those for us?
No, sir.
No?
Honestly.
All right,
Looks like you'll have to do it.
looks like I'm gonna have to do it. Just giving you the opportunity to have the camera. But I will do it for you.
Wait, did you bring the comp overtime report?
No.
Okay, we gotta do that first.
All right, let's go to the comp and overtime. You know why, it's missing on my, it's in my paperwork, but missing here. It jumps right to,
That's weird.
the budget transfers.
What? Do you need it?
Yes, please, all right, does anyone have any questions for Jake on this?
Mr. Hamel had 2150 comp time used?
Yes,
What's he doing?
he was off on comp time.
What's he doing?
I think that's a personal question, it's not overtime, it's comp time.
I know. Well, Bradshaw had.
Yeah, Bradshaw's going overtime, but.
What's up with that?
I would assume, I have to double check that because I got this
late this afternoon by my own fault.
All right.
I'm assuming it has to do with paving. And I went to double check to make sure that's not on, oh, no, that was, 21, that was the, household hazardous waste collection day. There should be two
Oh,
guys that have
okay.
that.
Yep.
And then there was one that was, we also paved during this time period, did the Midland paving, and also the call-in relates to the watering. Majority of that's watering the flowers there. Or, some of my emergency calls.
That Kevin Florak for
Yeah,
22?
Kevin and John, if they get alarms, they can answer alarms on the plant.
Okay. Ask for a motion to approve the account overtime.
I'll make that motion.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Abolito?
Aye.
Motion passes. And then this was for an insurance that wasn't budgeted for. So we're
Okay.
gonna switch it.
Can you speak to that, so
Yeah.
everyone else can hear? Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the budget modification that we're doing is for the amount of $1,570.40. And it was just basically, we're just moving it. It was for something that wasn't previously budgeted for, so we just moved it from from insurances to other health.
Yeah, those for, you hear the beeping back here, this AED, it needs new pads, which we've ordered and they're waiting for those to come in. But the one in the front office is no longer supported, so we're getting a new AED for the front office. It's one of the, it's a Philips G5, so it was one of the earliest ones that they had. It's the oldest one that the village had. Since this, I've also worked with Chris. We've got a spreadsheet so we can see, we projected out like the next 8 or 12 years, saying the AEDs are good typically for a while. The batteries are 4 years, and the pads are a couple years. You need a couple pads for each one, regular, the backup one, the batteries. You typically just have the battery in it, but you can also have a backup battery. They're about $400 a piece. But these are getting just pads and the new AED in this.
Nice.
Very good.
And the new AED comes with a battery and pads and all that, so we'll get that one set for at least 2 years on the pads.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll ask for a motion to approve the budget modifications.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Sure.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Ippolito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
I know it's here and there, look at that.
You guys are too much.
See, I'm losing this.
All right, Jake. I think you want to talk to us about this a little bit?
Yeah, I kind of wrote up a little bit about the sidewalk plow, if you remember in the budget process. The funds were approved in the equipment line for the purchase of a sidewalk plow. We're going through, evaluating all sorts of different types of manufacturers. They do everything from like the trackless that we have now in multi-hog. There's one made by Holder. There's one, the Ventrac one. We saw the game of them. One of them, frankly, couldn't get up on the sidewalk when there was snow on it, so we decided quickly that one wasn't going to do it. But they're not cheap pieces of equipment. Obviously, you'll see with with all the equipment and everything with it, it's about $155,000. The one we have now is lasted, it's 18 years old. So when we were evaluating different alternatives, it came down to really two, the one manufactured by Multi-Hog and the one manufactured by Trackless. They're both great machines. The Multi-Hog is about $16,000 cheaper. However, there's none of them around here. I think that it's a great machine, but I don't think we have the backup support that we would need like we would with the Trackless. The Trackless machine, we have a history with, but I Runaway's has 6 of them. You know, Pittsburgh has one, or other municipalities around here also run trackless. Joe Johnson Equipment's up on LaGrange. We had, I was telling Al earlier, we had a alternator go on one time when we had, you know, in the middle of plowing. Obviously, nothing ever breaks when you're not using it. We had an alternator go. We needed one. They didn't have one in stock. They took one off the machine for us, got us going, and then we continued on and then got the new one in and swapped it back out. So we have that kind of support here. The multi-hub dealer, I think, would provide great support, great machine. It's just the parts aren't local, and they can't possibly have everything you're gonna need. And you don't plan on machines breaking, but the reality is that they do. You do your maintenance on them, you do this, they work in a terrible environment, especially the sidewalk plows. And things are gonna break, and when we need them then. You know, we did a little different thing with the sweeper. Both of them, this is very similar to our street sweeper. They're both very common in Europe. They've been in Europe for years. Multi-hub's been there for years. And the streets, the Ravo has been there. We brought the Ravo over because, you know, if something breaks with their street sweeper, we do have support. It's growing locally, but they have stuff in New Jersey they can ship. And if we have to wait a day or two for a part for our street sweeper.
So are these budgeted numbers or are actual hardcore numbers?
Yeah, these are the numbers from through that HVAC contract. Those are the actual numbers. That's what it's going to be. And then within our budget, we had, that was one of the items, a big item that was included.
Right, I don't remember what we had in that budget line, or what we included.
Originally it was 246, and I think it dropped down to 215, and that was for a
Right,
sidewalk
got it.
plow. And we're looking at a pickup truck. I know the sidewalk plow was the one thing that we were budgeting for, and we were looking at, that's what we're gonna have to get. That was the main item. We didn't get didn't put in for any 6-wheelers or anything this year, because we knew the sidewalk plow was gonna be the big part of it. So, like I said, both of them were great machines. I just think, you know, when we need a sidewalk plow, we need to have the confidence that we're gonna be able to get the parts. You know, multi-hubs said they could overnight parts and you get, you know, this or that, but if the thing breaks at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at night, overnighting them means it's overnighted starting the next day because it's already left, you know, so that's 2 days out. We can't have the sidewalk plow out for 2 days. You know, so obviously, again, you only need that, you don't use those when you need them. Stretched out over a 15 to 20-year life of that machine, you're about $1,000 a year. You know, put it in that term, so I think it's a real good value for our residents.
And what is HGAC?
That's the Houston, Galveston area, HGAC, Houston, Galveston area. We signed a thing, I can't think of it.
Is this price better than any other municipal bid getting on a state contract or the county or whatever? Did you look around for other prices for the same
Yes,
thing?
yep, yeah, for the same thing. This is where they sell through, because the state used to go through and run bids for these things for other municipalities as they run a bid. A lot of places are going, since the piggyback provision was allowed a few years back, they'll do one big contract and then it's open up and other people can piggyback onto that one. And that's what this is. They've negotiated their whole price list for a certain discount through that. So, yeah, it was a month or so ago, I think, maybe even more, that the board considered authorized that, you know.
What may be helpful, I think, for us, like when we do this in the future, is like to see, as Don's talking to, see the prices that you got. You know, so I'm seeing the 3 bids or the couple quotes you got per machine.
Yeah,
It's helpful to see.
With the procurement policy, anything that's bid according to General Municipal Law 103, which this HGAC contract is, so you don't really technically have to get prices for anything. Once that's already been bid, so you're buying it off a contract.
But how do you know their contract is the best price?
That's why I say you don't have to. What we've done is looked at other places, looked at other options.
All right, so that's what Jerry's saying, is he'd like to see
Just
what
see
those
the-
other
so
options
we
were,
know
and what the
what
price,
options.
what the price was.
Well, technically, I guess this was passed in the budget process. I guess when it's passed in the budget process, I don't have to come back a second time to request the funds for this. It was a courtesy that I want to let you know, hey, here's where a big chunk of our money is going to go this year, is towards this equipment purchase that you previously authorized, but here's what it is. Here's the thought process that went into getting this one. And especially if there's.
No. The budget, it was budgeted, but the board still has to authorize the actual purchase.
Well, we do that through our procurement policy and through our,
Yeah, I'm not even challenging that piece, I'm saying it as a board, when we're gonna approve something that's 16,000 more than something else because of your recommendations, which I would support your recommendations, but just nice to see, all right, well, we did it, even though I don't have to, I got 3 bids, and 155 is the cheapest or the best price we're getting that we can possibly get.
I mean, we can, you know,
That's
just
all
want to get the
I'm
thing.
asking, it's nice to just see it in front of us to,
Yep,
so we make best decisions. If you guys don't agree, that's fine, but it'd be nice just to see it, see what we got, what else we look at.
Yeah.
I mean, how do we, you know this is the best
We
price.
have to do that for the lousy 1,500 that we want for that instructor island, so, please. I can't go
And I also don't want to slow your process down with winter around the corner, so I can get it.
Yeah.
Well, really, this thing would be, got towards the end of winter. By the time you get it now, it's a 60, probably about a 60 day.
Oh, so you'd be talking about for next season?
Yeah, it's something that we're getting this, you know, we have the machine now, so we're looking at getting this and getting then, this was a delivery date. Yeah, this was about 90 days out on this one is what they're suggesting.
So what do you guys, the rest of the board want to do? You want to, since it doesn't seem like he's got a huge rush on it, you want to see what the other prices were, or?
Is it a big deal, the prices?
No, I can run down to my office right now and grab the Guthrie
Yeah,
one.
we can go.
Like I said, when we were evaluating the machine, I ended up, I'm not having, you know, guys that work in sales, they've got to be out touching clients and making sure
Yep.
that they're having those contacts. I'm not gonna ask somebody for a price for a machine that I know is not gonna do the job. So between when we boiled it down to these two, I said, yeah, give me a quote on here. They're both quoted through the HGAC contract, because that's a contract that people have. Again, through, you know, the purchases.
So you're saying the only place you can buy this particular trackless sidewalk snowplow is through the HGAC contract?
No, the local dealer for trackless who has this area is Joe Johnson Equipment.
Right.
When you go to Joe Johnson Equipment to get the trackless, because rather than doing bids for every single one, they use this HGAC contract. That's the contract pricing that they'll utilize to handle all these bids. And that, you know, as a result, like I said, of the piggybacking provision, we used to have to go through, do bids, fill out a spec sheet, and go through and have a big bid book, bid packet, advertise it, do all this stuff. That's all been
Yeah,
done.
we used to, doesn't the state have state contracts anymore?
Very often, you know, like the trucks that we.
Because that's like the town, they go to buy police cars, they don't bid that out, they just
Yeah,
just get them off a state.
the dump trucks that we buy, very often you're piggybacking on an Onondaga County or a Chautauqua County bid. Because those counties bid them, but the state no longer bids like a 6-wheel dump truck. Or, you know, those size dump trucks, so, they didn't have, this is, you know, that's the dealer around here, you go to the dealer, they give me a budgetary number, he gave me a budgetary number earlier on, this was very much in line with that budgetary number.
So outside the HGAC contract, the prices are higher?
Yeah,
If
this one,
that's what the question is, if this is the best price,
Right.
yeah, this
then
HGAC,
I understand and we move forward.
this shows the HGAC discount on the bottom, it's 5%, which they do off their entire list price.
That's whatever they negotiate, whatever that
Yeah.
bid, when that bid goes out for turf, this is under the ground and turf equipment, contract. You know, grounds and turf contract, and so when they go through there, the municipal tractor is what we call it, this is gonna be this much and whatever your price is. And very often they'll have, you know, different manufacturers that are represented on that for certain pieces of equipment, sometimes the same type of equipment.
All right.
Like I said, the multi-hog was on the same, it's on the same, turf, or grounds and turf equipment contract, that GRO 118. Multi-hog is another option that's available through the use of that same contract. I said, to me, it's a great machine as well. I just worry about, you know, machines, the reality of it, machines break. And this type of machine, when we need it immediately, not, you know,
Understood.
3 days later.
I understand, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
Al,
Mm-hmm.
you're good?
Good.
Would you like to move forward and proceed?
Mhm.
So then I'll ask for a motion
I'll make that
for
motion.
Jake to sign this paperwork.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Trustee Lancy?
Aye.
Trustee Belkane?
Aye.
Mayor, Deputy Mayor Ippolito?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Don, you got anything for us this evening?
No, I do not.
Okay. Jake, looks like it's back to you.
All right, North Avenue Connector project was wrapped up today. There's maybe a few minor,
Yes.
minor details they're working out, but that's that should be the end of it. I think it turned out really nice.
Yes.
Obviously, whenever you're doing something like that, you run across different things, so, but it was a nice project. There was some pain points, but overall, I think it turned out real good for the residents down there. That's, I discovered why they're not building the cobblestones anymore. That's,
Isn't that amazing? I went down there and watched them for a little while one day.
yeah.
Just simply amazing
The,
to build the
and we
cobblestones.
absolutely got the right people,
Yes.
to do that. There was a contractor, that was one of the DBE contractors who was originally scheduled as a subcontractor working with their contractor there, who they had difficulties getting back in touch with, so they had to go with somebody else, and it turned out to be the gentleman that took over for Charlie Bash, that was a local mason.
Yeah.
He contracted out, and the person that was on site leading that, his family's been doing it for 4 generations, stonework. His grandfather, he said, stayed busy doing all the walls around Holy Sepulchre and things, or Holy Sepulchre cemetery there, so it's definitely someone that had it. And it's just a slow, very, very weather dependent, so there was an extension on the contract for some of the rain delays and the weather, even if it's not raining, this humidity. And those are granite cobblestones too, so they don't suck up moisture like the sandstone ones. And when their joint lines, an extruded joint line,
Yeah.
and they had to strike it and then wait for it to set up, and if it's real humid, it's settling down still, so they had to strike it back, but wait and just fine tune it and try to hit it just at the right time. And it really turned out nice, so I'd rather take a few extra days than rush it and have something that was less than that, so. They did a good job though.
That looks really nice.
Yeah, that looks great. Very good.
And it should be, when all said and done, probably about 80 grand under budget.
Wow, good.
So that's nice too. There's gonna be a little bit, there's a little bit more construction inspection, but the construction aspect of it itself, that is gonna be under.
That's great.
Yeah, so, yeah,
When's the ribbon cutting ceremony?
and that's for the deputy mayor.
When's the ribbon cutting ceremony?
Heather, when are we doing that?
We should be doing that soon. I will get back to you on that.
We should do so.
Yeah, we should. I think
Oh, we have to.
especially
Oh,
with,
good,
it's,
yes.
with the grant,
I'll get you some special
that was
scissors.
done, it was a federal grant, it was a locally administered federal aid project. And I think we talked to Matt certainly be great for the village to recognize and have something, make sure that people are aware of where that
Where
money
it
came
came
from.
from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, ultimately, it's our money, but it wasn't all 811,000 of ours, so.
Maybe in the spring, we put a couple pots in this big island of nothing.
Oh, you want me to
That's
go
Just to
on?
give it some,
I'll bring that.
That's, yeah, that's part of the plan, and those pots are gonna be about, I'm gonna get pots to match the ones we have on Main Street, that's kind of where we did.
Yeah.
And if there's some of that savings, some of the stuff that we already allocated towards that, like you recall, the incentive zoning funds went towards that, towards the village's share. If we have savings in that, I wanna try to get together pricing, I'd start talking to Chris about it, for getting some of those pots on there, and those pots, we would get the ones with the tanks inside. They have those, they were
Yes.
a bit more expensive, but we can
So
water
much
those.
easier.
Well, we can water those once a week.
Yeah.
Also, we still have to get out and water the hanging baskets, but those ones we can do once a week. So it'll be neat to finish that up in the spring and have, some more of those plantings there and stuff like that.
very good. Anything else, sewer department or anything like that, any updates?
It was all flowing, I know we talked about, I think it's the next workshop, there's gonna be a discussion on this, Saudi and that, so.
Yes, Heather just reminded me that presentation will be on 10/30/18.
The engineering is, D&L, right?
Oh, Barton
Yeah.
Wise.
I can't say the second name, so.
Judice.
Yeah, is that how we're doing it?
Yes, sir.
The subject of pots was one of the major subjects discussed by the bid at their last meeting this week, so they are also going to be talking with Jake, and I believe they originally bought the original pots. So they have some ideas of replacement of some of them, and they are working on it too.
Yeah, I talked to, Matt Chatfield was there at the meeting, he talked to me about the pots, and one of the, the big representatives wanted to, talk about where the pots on Main Street are distributed. I'll certainly, I first want to admit, I'm not an expert in the way those are arranged, that's why I sought the consultation of, there's a couple of landscape architects and the gentleman that owns a flower,
Yep.
or a big flower business down on Oregon Street.
Little bit.
Yeah, little business down there, so, they were involved in setting it up and the placement. It was actually 3 landscape architects, when you consider that's Matt's background as well, so. But I'm certainly happy to put them wherever they point to. As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
All right, is
Well, we
anyone?
got lots of compliments.
Oh, yeah. No, they look
All
beautiful.
summer.
Grow beautiful.
They look good.
Unbelievable. I just think they're gonna be spread out a little differently. Other than that, I think they're really nice.
Yeah, one more thing with the, I guess DPW Public Works, or just an update, the electric vehicle charging station is starting to see more use. We had a gentleman stop in today, he's got an electric car, thanking me, he was up,
Oh, that's good.
some nice lady helped him get it all set up and hooked up. But he, came in and plugged in, because there was one here, there was one here, came in, and then he was hanging out in the village businesses while he was charging, so.
What we want.
Yeah, and I think it's, once people, become aware that it's there and it's something to do, but, it really worked out nice, so.
Very cool. Did you? Me? Okay. Does anyone on the board have anything else?
Well, it just the trick or treat trail is coming up.
Yes.
The costume contest is at 11 on the 27th, right here in the main room. The judging starts at 11:30, so have the kids there with their costumes at 11. And then trick or treat is noon to 3:30. And then we have a doggy costume contest
I want to
also
bring it up for Jake,
at 12:30, we're sorry.
Was it?
the dogs.
Oh, I heard about that, that's why they had the bill for the mutt mitts. Getting an extra setup that's portable that we can set up
Yeah.
out front. because I understand they're gonna congregate in front of the village hall and then go down Main Street.
And then go down Main Street and then
So
down
where
Veterans.
they congregate in front of Village Hall, we're gonna have a portable mutt mitt set up with the
Yeah.
trash can nearby.
Why don't you hold that up?
I don't think they're gonna be able to
Oh, he
see
can
it.
zoom in. He's a professional.
He's a professional.
So is Rick.
Yeah, they both are. Man, thoughts and prayers, this has been a really weird, crazy week, some crazy deaths in the city, the limo thing, the storms that are heading to Florida.
Oh my gosh.
Thoughts and prayers to everybody that's dealing with that sort of stuff.
And then we were supposed to have info on that at Struck Island too, a couple more landscapers, but he didn't get the quotes from them. They still haven't gotten back to it either, so we still don't have that. And of course, if we don't get all of that for this big $1,500, we're never gonna get it done. We won't have time.
Okay.
You know, it's all gotta be, Jake, it's all gotta be dug up and planted and,
Yeah.
so, anyway.
All right, so we have nothing else? Ask for a motion, close the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And good night.
It's on cue, I get lowered down.
Okay, Bill, I'm giving you this and then you.
Well, I will say that, Jerry, you got a lot more press than the actual mayor.
Uh-oh.
You're David
David Clem?
Clem,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
4 comments.
Really?
Good.
What's up, Jerry?
Oh.
Hi, Jerry.
That's funny. No,
Connie,
he went to high school with
Connie and I think you are
Pennsylvania.
doing a great job. Rub the top of your head for a shout out.
I love that.
He was in
It's one
Pennsylvania.
of his Facebook buddies.
You can't see those
Oh,
comments.
God, I love it.
No, I have it on here. I just didn't pay
You
attention.
should pay attention, yeah.
What?
Oh, and I just went to quite that.
So about those, like,
Funny.
We weren't sure.
You weren't sure? Well, you couldn't have a meeting.